Hello and welcome all to the 33rd part of the series on self-exploration. The third part on Vincian intelligence. Joining the dots, contemplating, comprehending and sharing it with you all raw. All that sounds great is the grace of all those who have blessed me, and all that sounds not so great is my limitation. This is a series from parts 31 to 40, and if you have directly landed on this part, you may check out for the links of other parts in the description box below that may enhance your enjoyment of being with me in this whole series. In this part, we will be discussing the second Da Vincian principle for self-excellence. It is dimostrazione. Dimostrazione is the commitment to test knowledge through experiment. Commitment to test knowledge through experiment and willingness to learn from mistakes. Definitely a very, very important step in self-excellence. As discussed in the last part, curiosity leads to experimentation and a wish to experience. We are curious about something, we have found a path, and now we wish to choose that path, walk on that path, experiment and experience the outcome of the answers we got out of our curious questions. Right from childhood, we must understand that in developing a child, we must let him take experiences. Let him take experiences. Let him experiment on various fronts. Even an infant cries when pricked and smiles when soothed. Are we teaching him this? That when I prick you, you must cry, and when I hug you, you must smile or you must show the content on your face. This won't come by showing an infant a pin or a softball. He has to actually experience it. And then next time his system may pick up the softball and save himself from a pin. Because a system is capable of discriminating what is good and what is bad. And the best way to learn is experience. We must expose our children to experiences and not deprive them and give them verbal advices. This is good, this is bad. Let them find it out for themselves, and they do find it out very, very effectively. This can be a very valuable parenting tip. Those parents who are listening to me, you may just put this particular tip everywhere. A child someday wishes to eat ice cream with a pinch of salt on it or a chili sauce on it. Let him experience an experience. Why we tell him that it will not taste good? Let him find out for himself. Maybe if he likes it, let him go ahead. In school or college, he wishes to do some experiments in the physics lab, in the chemistry lab, or somewhere else, because he believes that that particular model will work, that reaction will give some particular results as he is feeling. As long as the experiments are safe, we must let him do and find for himself. The time he spends on doing that experiment is not wasted. He is gathering a very valuable lesson of his life through that experiment. Apparently, it may be a failure, but what he learns is a success. Some year, the child claims that he has to do all these activities and he's sure he can manage it all. Let him. Let him do. It's like a kind of experiment. He wishes to pursue a particular career as he goes ahead. Maybe in our parental view it may not be the correct decision, but if he wants to do it, let him do it. Even if he spends 1 year and then comes back, that year is not wasted. We have very what do you say, big myths about wasting the child's life and his years by putting him in some track of our choice. We must let him experiment, experience, and then decide and learn. That will be a concrete learning. And that will lead to his self-excellence, his place, his own place which he has found out. Never stop a child from doing anything. Check the worst outcome of that. At the most, what bad can happen, and you may make him aware of the possibility that, see, I feel this can happen out of this, and then let him decide after that. Not only that, be with him very strongly. Be with him very strongly, irrespective whether you have agreed to his plan or no, and irrespective of whether he fails or succeeds in that. If he succeeds, you'll definitely clap, but it is equally important to stand strongly for him if he has failed after doing something you had not recommended to do. Because that experience and that parental support will take him to a very different world of success and senses. Just like we can't explain someone how a mango tastes or how a rose smells. We can't make anyone understand things in the real sense unless he himself experiences it. So let your child be really rich with experiences, and his sensitivity will greatly enhance. And if the same legacy continues as adults also, our sensory system will be much more richer if we have found some things through our own experiences than just inheriting them from your earlier generations. In the first part of this series, we talked that we need to question the world. If I need to question the world, for that, first, I need to question my own opinions. My own opinions. And that is the biggest challenge, a biggest self-experiment and experience. It is not easy to defy our own hard-bound opinions. Like we may ask, when was the last time I changed a deeply held belief? A deeply held belief. What was true for me for years and years or ages and ages, I broke that belief. When did I do it last? And how did it feel like? Did I feel like breaking off from a cage? Do I accept my mistakes without any excuses? The last part is very important. Without any excuses. Do I make the most of my mistakes? Do I treat mistakes as learning opportunities? We need absolutely bare answers for all these, at least to ourselves. When it comes to mistakes, we may put the mistakes as a mistake of commission, that is, it went wrong because I did something, or mistakes of omission, that is, it went wrong because I did not do something. So we need to analyze whether more of my mistakes are that of commission or omission. Most of the times I repent on doing something or I repent for not doing something. That will give a very clear analysis of our nature, and that will clear our roadmap for self-excellence. It could be a very interesting exercise to write on what I would do differently if I had no fear of making mistakes. Because half the times we refrain ourselves from doing or not doing certain things because we are afraid we may go wrong. It could be something mundane from buying some offbeat crockery or furniture also, or some outfit for that matter. Some dress you are contemplating, will it look good on me, will it look bad on me? You buy it and you repent, you don't buy it and you repent. We stop ourselves from doing something or saying something or not saying something to someone just out of this fear that it may chip out as a mistake and it cannot be erased. That reminds me of a very famous science fiction that talks of Ikes. Ikes is a visitor from Neptune to planet Earth, and she meets her friend on planet Earth and they discuss a lot about trends on Neptune and trends on Mother Earth. And she tells that on their planet, if they have done some mistake, they can go back in time and correct that course of action. Alas, we had that facility on our planet. On second thoughts, would it help or would it create a bigger mess? Because then maybe half the time we'll keep going back in times and erasing our actions. Probably that is why nature does not keep that feature. You do something, you don't do something, you have nailed it. So, dimistrizione is knowing and accepting flaws, analyzing them, and making an action plan to overcome them in future. We cannot erase the past, but we can definitely write the future. Experimenting and experiencing the results and the differences after the same. What happened after I have corrected my mistake or my approach or my attitude? How have things changed for me? That is a whole introspective process that comes after curiosity and after experimentation. Experiments may be actual or they could be just thought experiments. Finally, we gain experiences through one of the five senses: touch, sound, sight, smell. And such experiences is certainly the mother of all experiences, because these experiences teach us from within. The teachings cannot be explained, but they are imbibed on our core, and that goes with us. That goes with us. Whenever we think of self-excellence, for believers, we have to always think through lives, because transcendence does not come in one life. You reach a certain stage of maturity and you take off from that step in your following lives, is what philosophers believe. So the sensory experiences and the learnings that are carved on our being are taken with us through lives, and that leads us to transcendence step. Curiosity leading to experiences and experiments. They take us to the next principle of the Da Vincian theory: sensing. Sensing with sense organs when in body. Sensing beyond sense organs when you expand beyond your body. Developing the sixth sense. Developing the connectivity of yourself with the universal self. It's going to be interesting. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.